the Pride Lands were bathed in the soft glow of dawn, the first rays of sunlight touching the tall grass and jagged cliffs with gold. Kara, a young lioness with a coat like burnished honey, moved silently along the ridge above the river, her eyes scanning the horizon. Every scent, every sound, whispered stories she longed to understand. Twith. Yet today, her heart was restless, not from danger, not from hunger, but from the ache of waiting. Kovu was late. Again, their secret meeting place, a secluded hollow near a waterfall, had always been a sanctuary, where words flowed easily and laughter felt free. But now, the hush of the morning pressed against her chest like a warning. The wind carried the familiar scents of the Pride Lands, the musk of distant lions, the tank of river water, but beneath them lingered something foreign, uneasy, almost electric. Kovu, she called softly, her voice barely carrying over the whispering breeze. Her tail twitched nervously. The soft thump of paws on the earth answered her, then a familiar shadow shifted among the rocks. He emerged, powerful, silent, his amber eyes catching the morning light. Yet, unlike his usual confidence, there was a hesitation in his gaze, a storm behind his calm facade. "Kara," he murmured, voice low and guarded. "We shouldn't be here." Confusion twisted in her chest. "Why not? This is our place, our sanctuary." She stepped closer, muscles taut, ears pinned slightly. "You're scaring me, Kovu's jaw tightened. Claws pressed into the dirt beneath him, and his tail lashed slowly. "It's not safe. I can't explain everything." "Not yet." His words were clipped, careful, like stepping on fragile glass. A surge of emotion flooded Karawari frustration, a deep ache of longing. "You never can you? Always secrets, always shadows. I thought I knew you. I thought I could trust you." Her voice trembled, carrying vulnerability she rarely allowed herself to show. Kovu's ears flicked, gaze flickering between her eyes and the distant plains. "It's not what you think," he said, voice tight. "I only want to protect you." Before she could reply, a sudden snap of a branch echoed through the hollow. Both tensed. From the shadows, a group of rogue lions slinked into view, eyes glinting amber, muscles coiled. The leader, massive and scarred, stepped forward, his voice like rolling thunder. "Well, what do we have here?" The golden cub and her little shadow. "Lost, are we?" Kara's heart pounded, but Kovu's stance was unwavering. Tail lashing, muscles coiled, he growled low. "Stay behind me." The battle erupted. Kovu moved like water fluid, precise, deadly. Kara leapt to his side, claws out, heart racing, instinct sharp. They were a unit, moving in sync, yet the distance in Kovu's eyes, hesitation, shadowed fear gnawed at her. Did he trust her fully? Could she trust him with her heart if he could not share everything? The fight ended as quickly as it had begun. The rogues, unnerved by their ferocity, melted back into the shadows. Kara collapsed onto the grass, muscles trembling, eyes searching Kovu's. "Why did you hesitate?" Guilt shadowed him. "I thought I could handle it alone. I didn't want to risk you." Her voice broke. "Risk me? We're a team. Kovu always have been. Or have I been wrong about that?" He turned, jaw tight, shadowed by unspoken truths. "It's complicated." "You mean I can't trust you?" she demanded, tail twitching nervously. "I didn't want to lie," he whispered. "But there are things in my past. Things I can't tell anyone, not even you." The weight of his words pressed against her heart. She walked toward the edge of the cliff, letting the wind whip her fur. Silence fell between them, filled with unspoken fears, secrets neither dared voice aloud. Finally, Kovu approached, careful. "Kara, I never meant to hurt you. I thought keeping it from you would protect you." "Protect me?" Her voice cracked. "From what? From yourself? From the truth? From everything?" He admitted enemies, mistakes, choices I had to bear alone. Kara's tail twitched. "And you expect me to trust you? Just like that?" "I don't expect it," he whispered. "I just hope that you'll understand someday." Days passed. Kara avoided him, training alone, patrolling the Pride Lands with precision. Each step felt hollow. Kovu watched silently, aching with every glance she turned away. Then came the wildfire. Flames consumed the northern plains, turning the sky into a wall of fire. Distant cries reached Kara's ears, young cubs trapped near the blaze. Without hesitation, she raced, muscles straining, lungs burning. Kovu was already there, guiding cubs to safety, leaping over flames, tackling danger. Fear, admiration, and love collided in Kara's chest, too. He had never abandoned her, had always protected, even while carrying shadows she could not yet see. "Kovu, over here," she called, plunging through smoke and heat. He turned, relief washing over his face. "Kara, behind me." He pushed a cub toward her, then shielded her from a falling branch. Movements flawless, instinct precise. They collapsed on the scorched grass, panting, hearts hammering. Silence fell, filled with understanding that required no words. Fear, pride, misunderstanding all dissolved, leaving only trust. When the fire finally died, Kara brushed a scorched speck from Kovu's face. "I was wrong," she whispered. "I should have trusted you. And I should have told you everything," he murmured. No more secrets. Their foreheads pressed together, hearts in sync. Misunderstanding had forged a stronger bond. Love, messy and terrifying, was worth every risk. "Love isn't easy," Kara murmured. Kovu nuzzled her softly. "No more secrets. No distance. Together, together," she agreed. But even as the stars glittered above the soot-darkened plains, the winds carried whispers of new dangerous threats lurking beyond the horizon, testing the courage of hearts bound by love. Yet, in that moment, Kara and Kovu learned the first lesson of their journey. Trust, once rebuilt, could weather any storm. And so, hand in paw, hearts entwined, they began the next chapter of their story. Walking side by side into the golden dawn, knowing that love, though fragile, could grow stronger than fear itself. The morning after the fire, the Pride Lands were quiet, almost eerily so. Smoke still hung in the valleys, curling upward in thin, ghostly trails. Kara walked along the riverbank, the mud cool beneath her paws, eyes scanning the distance. Her fur still bore faint scorch marks from the previous night, a reminder of the chaos and fear that had threatened to engulf them. She should have been grateful for Kovu's protection, but a gnawing unease lingered in her chest, a question she couldn't quite voice. Kovu approached slowly, his gait measured, every step deliberate. "Kara," he said softly. She stopped, tail flicking. "Don't," she said firmly, though the tremor in her voice betrayed her resolve. "Not yet. I need space." He froze, ears back, amber eyes full of regret. "I understand," he murmured. "I only want to make things right." Her gaze softened for a moment, but she turned and continued walking, the river's gentle babble masking the thunder of her thoughts. Kovu followed, maintaining a respectful distance, silent witness to her struggle. The fire had changed something. The Pride Lands, though healing, bore scars, blackened earth, toppled trees, singed grasses, and so too had their hearts been marked. Kara's trust, though rekindled, still wavered in the shadows of Kovu's unspoken past. She wanted to lean on him, to bridge the gap of doubt, but a part of her feared what she might uncover. Days passed, each bringing a mixture of peace and tension. Kara and Kovu patrolled the Pride Lands together, but the air between them was taut with unspoken words. Their glances lingered too long, tails brushed by accident. Claws hesitated in friendly sparring, the smallest gestures weighted with significance. One afternoon, as the sun beat down mercilessly on the plains, a messenger arrived from a distant pride. His message was urgent. A rival group of lions, larger and more aggressive than any Kara and Kovu had faced before, was approaching from the eastern plains. The Pride Lands needed their leaders, their strength, their unity. Kara's heart thudded. She turned to Kovu. "We faced them together." "Yes." Her voice was steady, though the knot in her stomach betrayed the worry she tried to hide. Kovu nodded, eyes serious. "Always." But as the rival pride drew nearer, the whispers of tension returned. Kara noticed subtle hesitations in Kovu's movements, moments where he seemed lost in thought, distracted. And then she heard its snatches of conversation, half words, a shadow of a warning that Kovu had not yet shared. The old fear returned, sharp as a clawed paw across her chest. "Kovu," she asked one evening, as the sun sank low, painting the sky with molten gold. "What aren't you telling me?" He flinched, gaze dropping. "It's complicated. There are things from my past, things I've done. Choices I've made that I fear will change everything, if you knew." Her eyes narrowed, tail twitching. "You think I'll judge you? You think I'll turn away?" I don't know," he admitted, voice barely above a whisper. "I just wanted to protect you." Her heart ached, torn between anger and love. Kovu protection isn't hiding. It's standing together, even when it's hard. The next morning, the rival pride arrived. They were as fierce as the messenger had warned, eyes sharp, muscles coiled, voices low and menacing. Kara and Kovu faced them on the northern ridge, the wind carrying the scent of dust and danger. The battle erupted with a roar. Kara leaped with precision, claws extended, heart pounding. Kovu mirrored her movements, powerful and calculated. Together, they were a single force, a dance of survival and strategy, honed by years of experience and trust. Yet beneath the coordination, tension simmered. Kara caught Kovu's eyes at moments of hesitation, brief flashes of doubt that reminded her of the secrets he still bore. Despite their skill, the rival pride pressed forward relentlessly. Kara realized they needed more than strength, they needed a plan. And fast. She darted to the side, motioning for Kovu to follow, drawing their opponents into a narrow pass where the rocks and cliffs gave them an advantage. Kovu understood immediately, following without question, his confidence in her abilities unwavering. The battle raged for hours, the sun climbing high and then falling again. Kara and Kovu moved with synchronicity born of trust and shared danger, but the strain began to show. Kovu took a hit to his shoulder, his paw dragging slightly on the uneven ground. Kara rushed to his side, worry sharpening every sense. "I'm fine," he grunted, forcing a smile, but Kara could see the pain hidden beneath his words. "Keep moving. We can't let them overtake us." As night fell, both prides were battered and exhausted. Kara and Kovu stood side by side, chests heaving, paws bloodied, fur torn. And yet, in that moment of shared exhaustion, the tension between them shifted. Kara realized that despite the secrets, despite the hesitation, Kovu had been steadfast, true, and unyielding. She nudged him gently. "You could have told me everything. You didn't have to carry it alone." Kovu lowered his head, amber eyes glistening in the moonlight. "I was afraid. Afraid that knowing would change you, or that you'd see me differently." Her gaze softened, tail brushing his. Kovu love isn't about perfection. It's about courage, about choosing to trust even when it's hard. "I trust you." A silence fell, filled only with the whispering wind and the distant calls of the pride. Then, without words, they leaned together, sharing a quiet moment of reconciliation. Misunderstanding faded into the night, replaced by the bond they had forged through fire, battle, and the quiet truths of their hearts. Yet challenges remained. Rumors of dissent among the younger lions reached them, whispers of rival factions seeking to exploit any weakness. Kara and Kovu spent days strategizing, planning patrols, and teaching the cubs to defend themselves. Their days were filled with action, but the nights became their refuge moments, where trust was rebuilt, where secrets could be shared, where love could grow without fear of interruption. One night, under a crescent moon, Kara found Kovu staring at the horizon, lost in thought. "What weighs on you so heavily?" she asked, stepping closer. "I fear losing you," he confessed, voice tight. "My past mistakes, my enemies, they could take you from me. And I don't know if I could bear it." She pressed her head against his shoulder. "Love isn't about fear, it's about facing everything together. And I choose you, Kovu, always." He closed his eyes, drawing strength from her words. "Then we face the world together, no matter what storms or shadows come." Days became weeks, and the Pride lands slowly healed from fire and conflict. Kara and Kovu's bond deepened, built not just on love, but on shared trials, victories, and the courage to confront the past. They learned to communicate without words, reading the subtle signals in each other's eyes and gestures, forging a connection that transcended spoken language. But peace, they discovered, was never permanent. A new threat loomed beyond the eastern horizon, pride of lions seeking vengeance for old disputes, more cunning and dangerous than any they had faced before. And so, as the sun rose once more over the golden plains, Kara and Kovu stood together, ready to meet the challenge. Their hearts were united, trust tempered by experience, love strengthened by trials. And though the road ahead was uncertain, one truth shone brighter than the morning sun. Together, they could face anything. Dawn crept across the Pride lands in soft strokes of gold and crimson. The air smelled clean again, the earth finally cooling after weeks of heat and struggle. Kara stood atop Pride Rock, the wind tugging at her mane. Below, the lions of the Pride stirred to life young cubs, chasing insects, lionesses stretching, elders murmuring in the shade. For the first time in many moons, the land felt whole. Yet, she knew peace was fragile. The horizon held a haze, a faint dust cloud where the eastern ridges met the sky. Scouts had reported movement in other Pride, larger than the last, marching westward. Their leader's name was whispered like a curse. Rocker, a ruthless lion who had once been exiled from the Outlands for treachery, and who now sought revenge on anyone who bore Simba's legacy. Kovu joined her, shoulder brushing hers, his eyes steady but shadowed. "It's him," he said quietly. "Rocker, you know him?" she asked, hearing the edge in his voice. Kovu's jaw tightened. "I trained with him once, before I came to the Pride Lands. He'd blamed me for leaving the Outlanders. He said I betrayed them. If he's coming here, it's for me." Kara turned to face him fully, eyes burning with conviction. "Then he'll have to face both of us." Kovu tried to smile, but the weight in his chest wouldn't lift. He had spent his life trying to outrun his past, to build something pure with Kara. Now the past had followed him home, teeth bared. That evening, the Pride gathered. The air vibrated with unease. Rafiki, old and wise, stood beside them, his staff tapping softly against the rock. "The storm comes again," he murmured. "But storms are not to be feared. They wash away what is weak and leave only what is strong." Kara met the gaze of every lion present. "We will not surrender our land. We will protect our home and each other. But remember, courage is not cruelty. We fight only to defend." 2 words steadied him. Even Kovu felt the warmth of her conviction sink into his bones. For the first time since hearing Rocker's name, he believed they could prevail. 3 nights later, under a bruised violet sky, Rocker's army reached the border. The earth trembled with their approach. Dozens of lions, lean and scarred, eyes glowing in the dark. At their head stood Rocker himself, massive and cold-eyed, his mane streaked with silver scars. When he saw Kovu, he laughed, a deep, bitter sound. "So the prince hides behind his queen now. I taught you better than that." Kovu stepped forward. "You taught me to hate. I learned to love instead." Rocker's smile vanished. "Then love will be your undoing." The 2 prides collided in a thunder of claws and roars. Dust and fur filled the air. The ground shook beneath their fury. Kara fought beside Kovu, her movements sharp and graceful, protecting him when he faltered, trusting him when he surged ahead. They moved as one heartbeat, 2 souls bound by fire and faith. But Rocker was relentless. He cornered Kovu near the ridge, striking with a speed that belied his size. Each blow carried years of rage. "You stole my future," he snarled. "You left me to rot while you basked in their sunlight." Kovu gasped for breath, blood trickling from a cut above his eye. "I left because your future was built on hatred. I found something worth fighting for." Rocker's paw lashed out, sending Kovu sprawling. Kara saw the fall, her heart seizing. She bounded across the battlefield, roaring Kovu's name. But before she reached him, Rocker turned on her. His voice was venom. "Ah, the golden heart of the Pride Lands. Do you know who your beloved really is?" Kara froze mid-stride. "Stop playing games. He never told you," Rocker sneered. "He was my brother by blood. We shared the same mother, the same dark past. He led hunts that destroyed prides before yours. The blood of innocence stains his claws." Kovu's head shot up, eyes blazing with denial and guilt intertwined. "Rocker, enough. But the damage was done. Kara's breath hitched. The battlefield seemed to still around her. "Is it true?" she whispered. Kovu's silence answered her. Ruka lunged again, striking Kovu down before she could move. Fury exploded inside. Her fury at Ruka, at fate, at the cruel twist of truth. Shemet. Ruka's assault with every ounce of strength in her body. Claws slicing through his defenses, forcing him backward toward the cliff's edge. Their roars echoed across the plains. Finally, she pinned him, teeth bared. "You talk about blood, but it's your hatred that poisons everything." She spat. Ruka snarled and shoved her off balance, but Kovu, battered and bleeding, rose behind him. With one final push, Kovu drove Ruka away from the ledge, but the older lion slipped, claws scraping stone before he disappeared into the darkness below. Silence followed. Only the wind spoke, whispering through the grass. Kara turned to Kovu, his chest heaved, his eyes full of pain, not from wounds, but from truth laid bare. "You should hate me," he said hoarsely. Everything he said. It was true. I did terrible things before I met you. I thought if I buried it, it would die. Kara stepped closer. "You're not the lion you were then, but I lied to you. You were afraid," she said softly. "We all are. What matters is who you choose to be now." He stared at her, disbelieving, until her forehead pressed against his. "No more secrets," she whispered. "No more." He breathed. Around them, the pride watched in reverent silence. The battle was over. The Eastern Lions, seeing their leader fall, lowered their heads and retreated, unwilling to fight any longer. The days that followed were filled with rebuilding. The Pride lands healed against lowly stubbornly, like the lions who guarded them. Grass grew through charred soil. Cubs played in the shallows of the river. Laughter returned to Pride Rock. One evening, Rafiki found Kara and Kovu sitting side by side on the ridge where they had first met. The old mandrill smiled. "The past always comes for us," he said, tapping his staff. "But it does not chain us unless we let it." Kovu nodded. "I understand that now." Kara looked at him, warmth in her eyes. "You taught me something too, Rafiki. Love isn't blind, it sees the darkness, and still chooses to stay." Rafiki chuckled softly. "Then the Pride lands are safe in your paws." He turned and vanished into the twilight. The two lions sat quietly, watching the sunset turn the plains to liquid gold. Kovu's tail brushed against hers. "Do you ever think," he said, "that maybe the hardest battles aren't the ones we fight out there, but the ones we fight inside?" Kara smiled. "That's the truth of it. The heart can burn brighter than any fire, and it can heal too." As darkness settled, they lay side by side, listening to the hum of crickets, the rhythm of the land they had nearly lost. Their scars glowed faintly in the moonlight, not marks of shame, but proof that they had endured. Kovu exhaled. "Together, always," she said, and high above them, the stars seemed to shimmer in approval. Old kings watching over the lions who had finally learned that love, truth, and courage are stronger than destiny itself. Moral. True strength is not in hiding our past, but in facing it, forgiving it, and choosing love over fear. Trust tested by fire and healed by honesty's what keeps hearts and kingdoms alive.